Hello, my fellow Americans. I would like you to consider a Bleed Deadeye. It uses an extremely cheap weapon, and as far as uniques, all the uniques that this uses are fairly cheap. Assailum's the only moderately expensive thing, and even that is just going down in price. The only actual pricey things that you'll need for this build are the cluster jewels. Those are primarily wasting affliction stacking, so that way your bleeds will deal damage as quickly as possible, so that way your Assailum bleed will just straight up wallop them. It's fairly defensive by the Venopuncture chilling everything that's bleeding, as well as using a fairly juiced amount of ballista totems that are using Ensnaring Arrow. This ensnares everything, makes it a lot slower, and makes them less likely to jump on your face as quickly as they want to, especially when it comes to ultimatums. Granted, it is not fantastic in ultimatums, but it has done the job fairly well. Just to give you an idea of how this runs. Oh, this is going to be a juicy one. But yeah, you're using a lot of chains, a lot of projectiles, and it tends to clear fairly well. Proximate shields are obviously a nightmare. This is a reduced recovery map. These are your mods. You can feel free to pause it. But it goes fairly fast. I use dash. You can probably get away with using blink arrow. It also runs steel skin because you do have a fair bit of strength. This is also a tier 16 map, as you can see in the mods. No, it clears decently fast, like I said. The only mods you can't run are cannot regen mana, I believe. Actually, you can probably run that one. It's just not that fun. This does leech, so you get a little bit of recovery that way. Is that our boss? I think it's the boss. Can't tell. He's gonna get covered by the proc shield. Yeah, but the extra projectiles is actually fairly nice. I'm gonna put down some of these. And the proc shield. Covered him again. Nice. Obviously, you can't do chance to bleed as well. There we go. We got him with a bleed. That boss doesn't move, so he doesn't bleed very quickly. Yeah, chance to avoid bleed, blind, and poison is what will really wreck you. So don't run those. But yeah, it's fairly smooth. Like I said, the uniques are fairly cheap. One Assailum bleed will do about 12 million damage, and bear in mind, this is not with a good bow. This bow is terrible. It has no bleed specific mods, it's just a whole lot of flat damage. So if you were to invest more in this, you could probably get easily around 20 million bleed damage. And as you saw, I didn't get immediately wrecked by that, because you do have a fair bit of dodge. Granted, it is not the safest build. You could do a lot better, but you could do worse. It has managed to do all like the big content. I've got my Cirrus kill. I don't have a Maven kill because that takes forever to grind for, but I do have an ultimatum kill, and I believe that was either a tier 15 or a tier 16 map. So, fair bit of that. Let's try and find the ultimatum so you can see if I can run this or if I have to restart the video. Yeah, so we drop a ton of totems, and that tends to chill everything fairly well. You can see everything's pretty slow. They're getting bled, they're getting ensnared, they're getting chilled because they're getting bled. And they in general have a fairly hard time. In addition, since we have the Stibnite Flask, evasion rating, smoke cloud, more defensive layers. We like our layers. You can do most mods on ultimatums as well. I think the only one that you really don't want to do is random direction arrows. For some reason the pack size on this is terrible. But you just keep your totems up and that should do things. Typically, you will have enough leeway with Steel Skin and with your dodge, phase acro, such that you will be able to smash your flask in time to heal up from any hits that are particularly dangerous. I don't know what's up with this ultimatum. Usually it summons a ton more enemies. Yeah. So I ran this as my starter. I would not necessarily recommend that, but it wasn't, in hindsight, it's not the worst. I believe the cluster jewels should be fairly cheap now. They were like 60C, but again, pretty damn easy. That was a pretty damn easy ultimatum. So anyways, yeah. I'm going to put the information on this build down in the description. Feel free to check it out. If you like it, you like it. Thanks.